Hello everyone, it is the build-up show, Liverpool, Porto, Champions League action, back to Porto, which has been such a happy hunting ground for Liverpool and pretty much no one else, largely over the last few years, but yeah, can't really complain. I am Paul Matron. We are joined in the studio today by Sam Walker and by Chris Pajak as well, wonderful men. We've just done the final word live, so the question was raised on Rumbu, and we like to take action where we can, so that why did the final word keep going out after the build-up show? And normally it's a scheduling conflict. The Rumbu will be Thursdays as much as possible moving forward from this, but we are now live streaming the final word shows directly to the website, so if you're a subscriber on the redmentv.com, you get it live. So we've just come out the back of that is there right now, so if you want to go and check that and then come back to this, then you're more than welcome to. But yes, anyway, Chris, it is back to Porto. Surely we can't hope that we're going to have quite the same fortune that we've had there the last...
Why? It's historical fortune, isn't it? Like, I looked at all the times that we've played them. They've never beaten us. So it goes back pre-Klopp as well. I think we've played 8 and won 5. We scored like 18 and conceded 3 goals against them. It's mad. We might just have their number forever. Or that might just stop it and we get, a really tough game against them because of the overconfidence of me on YouTube. Who knows?
The last time they beat us was 2004 in a pre-season friendly game. So yeah, to Chris's point, I mean, I don't want us to get... I mean, again, look, we're not the ones going out there kicking the ball, so our complacency, and we're not even going, it's only Shy in the Redmen lot is going to this game, so our complacency doesn't really count for much, other than maybe some mad butterfly effect style, the vibes coming off our mouths.
Well, Sai's doing the show with us now, so maybe he'll take our overconfidence with him to Porto. That then spreads through the fan base, and then we're fucked.
They got a good result against Atletico in the first week, getting a draw. They were actually unlucky not to win it as well. They had a very late goal disallowed for a contentious handball, I guess. So I wouldn't, if they're able, and they gave Atletico a good game, although we're classing as our nearest rival in this group. So I don't think we should be quite wary about this, I should say.
They're a good side who seem to do well against certain teams. Like, I think City have had them a couple of times and drew away and won at the Etihad, which you expect. Chelsea last season, I know it was neutral venues and no fans, so it's hard to sort of gauge the away sort of feeling. But again, they won by 1 goal and they could have conceded a lot in the first leg, and they seem to match a lot of teams. It must just be the way stylistically that they play, like against Atletico. The way they must set up must just sort of counter Atletico pragmatism as well, whereas I think some teams are overwhelmed time and time again by certain other teams, aren't they? Like, is it Burnley seem to get beaten 9-0 by City every time you play them, but give everyone else hell? It just sometimes falls that way, doesn't it? And I think, as Chris says, previously we've had Porto's number. Yeah,
it's the thing about Porto, it's worth remembering, it goes back to Klopp laughing about the AC Milan thing, 4th seed in the group, by the way. The Porto are a team who get to the knockouts. Like, we've met them in
the quarters and the round of 16 as well, haven't we?
Exactly, and they consistently get into the knockouts, and that's something where I know we've got their number and yada yada yada. AC Milan are the only team who wouldn't reasonably expect to be in the knockouts, and that's just because they haven't been in the Champions League since 13-14 or whatever. So you're looking at 3 teams who would all fancy themselves, us being one of them, and that's where we definitely have to be careful in this one, because to that point, second in Premier League, I think they're 4 points behind Benfica already with 7 games played, but they're a good team with a great fan base and actually historically with a good experience of big games in European football.
Yeah, and I think, do you know what, I never really thought about it like this until you mentioned they always get to the sort of knockouts. Our group has probably got 3 of the top 16 teams in European football in it, which makes it a very difficult group to get out of, doesn't
Possibly
it?
4, by the way. Possibly 4.
Yeah.
Milan are a good side.
Yeah. So that makes it difficult in and of itself. When we beat them at the Estadio de Drago or whatever it's called, that first time, wasn't it?
You gave it such a good go and such a poor go at the same time. Like, you gave it a bit of accent, but also went, oh yeah, whatever, lads.
Never had that trust.
That Dragon Stadium.
You know what I mean? Give us one of them fajitas. I know it's called a fajita. I don't know why I have to say one of them. Yeah. So look, they'd not been beaten there for a good couple of years, wasn't it, or something, when we went to that stadium and did that to them. They used to winning at their ground. and good sides get used to winning at their ground. They will have some players that remember the games with Liverpool, and you just hope that sows the seeds of doubt with them. But it's just another opportunity for them to go and sort of dispel that. Forget about it. Let's go and prove that we're not as shit as they keep making us look, please, because they're not a shit side, and they've become a bit of a laughing stock for us because we just tonked them and then let them have a draw. Because that's the way we've sort of navigated those 4 games, isn't it? So, but that's not right. Like, they are a very, very good side, and we are going to have to be wary of their qualities.
They beat Gil Vicente 2-1 on Friday, and they made their full 5 substitutes because, as we keep pointing out, other major European leagues care more about the health of their footballers than the Premier League do. Shock. So they will be better rested for this one, potentially better prepared, and again, having come off the back of a victory, whereas Liverpool are maybe having a little bit of an investigation. We've got a couple of injury problems where we've had to rotate, and we haven't got too many options maybe at this point with the midfield and what have you. So again, I don't. Let's spend this first part of the show talking Porto up before we really dive into the Liverpool stuff. But it's another consideration. They will be looking at it going, it's as good a preparation for this game as they possibly could have had, really.
Yeah, but to bring them back down slightly again, I think Norwich would even beat that team they beat, on Friday. Like, who are they? I've never seen them play football in my life, and I like to think myself as a bit of an educated football fan. But I think that's the problem that Porto have, is that they play against Benfica. It's like the derby. It's huge, and obviously Sporting have that same sort of competitiveness with them. But beyond that, it's just, they're 1-9 to win every week, home or away. It's insane how the difference in quality in that league. So when they come up against the likes of Liverpool and Real Madrid and Barcelona and Manchester City, etc., over the years, they're not used to playing against the intensity of football that we bring. And obviously we might not play well on the day, but if we do, they're going to have to adjust in game a lot, because the quality that their left back and right back are up against are not Sadio Mane and Salah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether I was trying to prove or disprove your point on the Gil Vicente stuff there, but I had a look at the Premier League, and I did a thing for Squawk a couple of years ago. I think you did this as well, where they were doing like name as many teams from Brazil as possible, and that was tough. The Portuguese, I know about 5 Portuguese teams tops.
You're not going to put it on the spot here, are you?
I honestly
is Braga from Portugal?
Yeah.
Sounds okay.
Well, Gil Vicente, to your point, is 7th in the Premier League at the moment. I've only taken 2 points from the last 5 games in the build up to this. Obviously, Boavista, heard of them. Paphos Ferreira, nope. I think I've heard of Vittoria, Vizela, Morientes, Maritimo, heard of them. Tondela, Aruca, Santa Clara, didn't know that was Portuguese. Famalicão. And B-Sad. I mean, you would be if you were 18th in the Premier League.
Yeah. The thing is, how many of them teams are they all full time? I'd love to know that. Are they all full time? I don't know, but they've gone above France in the leagues. Now they're actually the 5th top league in Europe now. They went above them last year.
Well, then show some fucking goddamn respect to Gil Vicente then, Sam. How dare you?
Sorry, Gil Vicente.
Yeah. Right, look, we're going to take a very short break. We're going to be chatting Liverpool, who we should be throwing in for this game, obviously with one eye on Manchester City, big game looming at the weekend, and how do you balance that out? There's a trivia question first. Name the 5 Premier League era Liverpool players to play for both Porto and the mighty Reds. Answer in a sec. Hey guys, just to let you know, if you want more from Redmen TV, additional content, and to support the channel in a general sense as well, then you can do by going to the redmentv.com. There are 2 tiers of subscription there. We've got Club Captain and we've got Club Legend. Club Captain gains you access to all of our extra content. That's extra weekly Redmen TV shows in this studio, chatting through all the events happening in and around Liverpool Football Club. There are also incredible documentaries, series, features, and interviews with Liverpool players, past, present, and future as well. But not just that, on the Club Legend tier, you get more. You get more perks, more bonus features. You get 2 free items of merchandise every single year. You get discounts on merch as well. You get 2 free tickets to Redmen TV. Live events, you get access to our Discord group, which is the wonderful small community of like-minded Reds. No knobheads allowed. It's a very simple rule, and it makes it a wonderful place to talk football and life as well, and you get entered into our Club Legend monthly competition, win world exclusive individual incredible prizes, signed merchandise from Liverpool players, things that you will not be able to get anywhere else, and it's all part of your Club Legend subscription. So if you like what we do and you want more of us in your life and you want more benefits as well, then yes, sign up to the redmentv.com at either of those tiers, and we will reward you with as much content as you can fit into your ears, eyes and faces. And if you go to Club Legends, you get bonus perks as well. Hope to see you over there at the redmentv.com. Yes, welcome back. Do go and sign up on the redmentv.com. It is amazing. And if you enjoy what we do and you want more of us doing this stuff, then cool, that's got you covered. And if you want more just general Liverpool related content as well, then you can do so. We've got documentaries, features, interviews. It's very, very, very good. It's like Netflix for Liverpool fans. Get involved. And as we've pointed out at the top of the show, we've cracked it, we think, so that the final word shows, which are the bonus show for YouTube members, we can now stream them live to the website as well. So that's another reason. If you are enjoying that as a YouTube member and you want to jump over and get more bang for your buck, so to speak, then that's the perfect chance to go and do that right now. We're just going to dive over to the comments quickly before we get into the answer for the trivia question. Navir
Should we use the comments to help us?
has joined as a first team member. Thank you so much for that. We've got a question from Tommy Zammit, which we'll come to second, but we'll just get to see if we've got people some suggestions for answers to name the 5 players who played for both Porto and Liverpool in the Premier League era. Protegidu, I only know Grujic and Jota. Grujic says Ham here. Abel Xavier asks as well. Morelos was a shout in there as well. Tommy Zammit says Raul Morelos, Grujic, Jota, Maxi Rodriguez, Cavalieri? Question mark. What we got, boys?
So I had Jota before Wolves. Morelos, we bought him from them. Grujic, we sold them to him. I've put down Teixeira, but it's a guess more than anything. So they're the 4 names that I've got.
Cavalieri, I'm throwing in 100%.
You've thrown him in 100%.
So
incorrectly.
Incorrectly. Ilori?
Nope. Sporting. We got him from.
Yeah, this never
we said this just before the show.
No, but I didn't know whether he'd moved on there.
The Porto and Sporting hate each other.
Listen, we had the point with Teixeira where we were like, who's he playing for? Feyenoord last week.
Is Teixeira one of them?
Two questions on the bounce. João Carlos Teixeira makes it in as an answer. Teixeira, Raul Morelos is 2. Diogo Jota is 3, Marco Grujic is 4, and the 5th one, never would have got this in a bazillion years.
Is it? Am I on the right lines? Because in the guesses, I said, I bet it's someone dead British.
Absolutely not.
Okay, no.
Left back, played under Brendan Rodgers.
Aly Cissokho.
Oh my God, never in a million years.
He's the least Portuguese league type player ever.
Yeah. Congratulations.
How long did he, we didn't sell them to him, did we?
How did he?
No,
did we loan him?
Yeah. Where
the fucking hell? What did he do in his career? Can you tell me?
You know what? Let's find out. I'm quite interested to see.
Aly Cissokho, modern day Jimmy.
Let's find out. Aly Cissokho's career. What a wild career it was. Started at Guignon, went to Vitória Setúbal, played for Porto in 2009.
Wow.
Played for Lyon between 2009 to 12, Valencia on loan to Liverpool, Villa on loan back to Porto. Well, there you go. On loan to Olympiacos. Then he's played for Yeni, Matalyaspor, Antalyaspor, AFC Boulogne, and Lampoon. He was a Lampoon Warrior, apparently.
Where's that? Lampoon Warrior?
Let's find out.
Mate, his agent's a beast. His agent is a top guy.
The Thai league, the 2nd division of Thai football.
Can you zoom in on the badge for me? Because I want to see what the mythical creature was on the badge.
This one.
It's a bull.
Like a bull or an ox or something like that. There you go. There you go. Aly Cissokho, ladies and gentlemen. If you got that right, then you are just wonderful. You're a cheat.
Yeah, a cheat is there. But he played for them twice as well.
Played for them twice. Yeah, there you go. Right, okay. Back to the action then. How strong will we go here, do you think?
93%.
Is that as strong as possible?
No,
what we've got available to ourselves?
It's 2% off what's as strong as available.
Okay, sad.
No idea.
Psychologically speaking, I'm asking more than anything else, more than us to necessarily rate the players, although we can do that down the line, Sam. And my point is this: Man City at the weekend, are you rotating to allow you to be stronger for the weekend, or do you go as same team, or do you do something mad?
I think Tsimikas deserves to play. I think Trent can play because he didn't play for 2 games before that. Definitely going to be some rotation. I think this could be the first week Fergie plays 3 games in a week, because at some point he's going to have to. And you need that leadership away from home. So we see a centre half with him that we haven't seen at the weekend. And I'd be surprised if Jones plays, because Fab and Hendo can do 3 games this week because they had a week off. So I think it's about freshness against managing the squad for the weekend. So I think we probably see 4 changes: one at left back, one at centre back, centre midfield, and probably Bobby starts.
I think we'll make changes where we can. And the good thing is that as much as we're not necessarily brimming with midfield options at the moment, just with no Thiago, we don't know where Kate is up to, but there's a chance he might be back for this game, and I wonder if it's a case of, do we want him to play for City, definitely, or not? It will dictate whether he plays here. I wonder whether we'll go... I think we might go stronger than we think, because Man City are playing PSG and they'll have to go strong, and whether we just think... I can see it one of 2 ways, and we'll discuss both, Chris, is that there's like you're complicit there and saying, well, they're going to go strong so we can go strong, and then both teams will be a little bit tired for the weekend, and then it just comes down to them being on a similar level. We've definitely done that before, but the Tsimikas stuff maybe means we don't have to, because you can. There's 1 or 2 lads that you can.
I mean, well, I think my head says Klopp's going to go strong for this game, and my heart says he's not. Like, don't do it. Like, because we're in a good position in the group, you know, we're 2 points ahead of everybody, you know, obviously apart from AC Milan. So we can afford to make a bit of a misstep somewhere, and if you're going to make a bit of a misstep, the game before City might be the place to do it. I think Van Dijk sits this one out, and I'll tell you why. He's too important. Like, I don't... Like, the concerns over Joel Matip are obviously, you know, his injuries and all that, and he's brilliant. But I do think there's not much of a drop-off between Matip and Gomez. And some people would argue Gomez is the better centre-half. I don't think he is yet. And I've always said I think he will become a better centre-half, but he's not yet. So I actually don't mind seeing Gomez playing left side and Matip playing right side, and just making sure that Virgil's okay for City and okay for the rest of the sort of season. Matip's going to pick up an injury whether you play him 3 games in a week or 1 game in a week at some point. That's my thoughts on Matip. Tsimikas, I think, has to come back in. Question marks over Trent, because he puts a lot of effort into every game for me. So maybe if Milner's available, maybe he'll put a performance in. We've seen him play well in the Champions League. Yeah, of course, yeah.
So either way, that could work. Trent could come on, or he could come off.
That's true, yeah. And then I think, for me, I might be resting Salah, and I might be playing Firmino, Jota and Mane, and then the midfield, throw them up in the air and see who's fit.
Yeah.
Don't throw them too hard, though.
Well, I mean, Mizgan Masani here with the 200 squiggles of the super chat saying, are we looking for 275% teams to keep an eye on the City game or rotate completely?
I like the way we've got this written now. Everyone's talking of percentages. Good.
Fight Origi, Milner, Kanate, Tsimikas for Porto and full team for Sunday. What do you think? Yeah, because that's the alternative. Because I could look at it. It wouldn't shock me equally to say Tsimikas starts, put Gomez and Kanate in, because you can. I don't know that we will, but that's a strong possibility. And then you could play Milner at right back if you want to. Okay, you know, that's fine. I don't think we're going to play him in midfield. Really? So I don't think so.
I thought we might, just because, like I said, this is a huge opportunity for us, this game, because imagine a Milan and Atletico draw in the San Siro and we win. We've got a free game already. We're more than 3 points ahead of everybody. 5 and 4 it would be. Whoever wins out of Atletico and Milan, I've also got a huge step, because it'd be then 6-4 1-0. So
Wait there, you threw me with these wrong figures about it.
No, if Liverpool
five.
win,
That's
sorry,
bearing in mind,
Liverpool would be
team
6. I meant ahead. So Liverpool would be 5 ahead.
Sorry, right, okay.
So, but if we win this game, we're in a huge advantage over everybody else already. Like, I think this is massive. Like, I'd argue, whatever happens on Sunday is more rectifiable at Anfield. You know, even if we draw the game, if we lose, all right, not great, but we'd still only if we beat Porto. And the results go our way, you've almost got 1 foot on qualification because you've got Atletico Madrid home and away coming up, which is very, very difficult for our style of play.
Yeah, I know, I take your point. And look, in theory, you've got loads more games to put it right in the Premier League than you'd have, but also it's City. And normally, if you beat Man City, you tend to win the league. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you can beat a particular, if we don't beat them at Anfield, that's can be more of a damaging result than anything else.
He's right, you know, it might be a year later when Norwich go down and then win the league, but if you beat City, eventually you do go and win a league afterwards.
Leicester. Yeah. I don't know. I that City game is too important psychologically, and I think you can afford to, on the balance of things. It doesn't work like this, does it? It's not like if you put a slightly weaker side on, that means you therefore get a draw in this game, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And that's the problem. Like, Klopp genuinely believes in all of his players, so I think he'll put aside that. He'll still think they can win the game of footy, and that's. It's so difficult because, like, we're looking at City, me and you, I think, Paul, are in the same boat here, going, City's so important, probably just make sure that City's fine, put yourself in the best possible position to beat City. He's not. He's probably looking more like Sam, going, got to get through the Champions League. Tough group. Anything could happen in the 2 games against Atletico. We've played them over 2 legs. We know sort of how that can pan out and stuff. I've got to win the Porto game, and we'll just see who's left. And to your point earlier, which I think is spot on, City are going to have to play it really strong,
and it'll be a 90-minute slug, regardless that game. Mm-hmm. The one thing I think I'm interested is, of all the players that I think you look after, obviously Virg, number 1. Matip for me at the weekend is huge. Like, we need Virg and Matip on that pitch, in my opinion, against City. I don't want to see a new Konate or a just coming back Gomez. So if Matip's playing tomorrow, when is he going to go again on Sunday in a game where he's going to have to be sharp on his toes, moving a lot of twisting and turning? Like, I can't see Matip. I really can't see him playing tomorrow and being rested on Sunday. He's too important.
Well, that's a good point. And again, it'll depend on what they're like. And Matip not having a great game at the weekend, I think, as well, might be a factor. But that might just be because he's had a little bit too much time off, almost. You know, you don't know, do you? This is where it's dead hard, genuinely dead hard, because I can make a strong case for sort of 2 or 3 or more different approaches, where maybe the one I'm thinking is just, okay, you bring Tsimikas in, and then you probably rotate one of the front 3. So you bring Bobby back in and you're playing for 60 minutes, and then that's him having had 25 minutes, half an hour against Brentford, then 60, and then you can choose whether you want to start him or not against Manchester City, and that's probably all I'd do. But there's equally just as much a case where you then go, okay, well, actually, no, let's rotate Matip just to make sure that he's protected. So you bring Konate in for him. That's fine. Virgil and Konate should be more than capable. And then you go, but what about ... And then all of a sudden you find yourself where you've made 5 or 6 changes for a big game of football. And how do you then, you then may running the risk of being too disbalanced? I don't know. I think historically Klopp wouldn't make too many changes for this, and I think he would just go as strong as possible for these 2 games, because they're probably both equally big games in terms of what we're trying to do. But I think our squad's probably good enough that we can probably rotate 3.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, the gap to the City game is 5 days.
Yeah,
that's a big gap. It's this game that's the problem for the players that have played at the weekend, not the City game. I don't see it. Obviously, there's a cumulative effect that will happen if you play both of them. So maybe, like, it makes it really difficult. I mean, City are going to have the same break as us before the game on Sunday as well, aren't they? They play Tuesday night.
They also travel like us, yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite similar, the 2 teams' preparations for this. They'll have had a little bit more time off because they obviously played Saturday lunchtime rather than Saturday evening. But then Klopp would prefer it if you'd asked him because he likes to play evening rather than lunchtime, etc., etc. So
because we've got it'd be late. Very later. It's not too
yeah,
bad,
so the training time will be the same all week long for us, which I'm sure Klopp would probably enjoy. I think the midfield's probably where the changes happen if you can afford to make the changes. Moreover, I don't see that Costas and Robbo right now there's much drop off. So I think that's a safe substitution. It's not one where changing your left back changes how you attack, for example, whereas changing midfield does. Changing that's just a bigger impact on the side as a whole. So the right back one, Milner can play it, not in quite the same way, so that has a bigger impact than the left back, doesn't it, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah,
it's also really, I think
tough.
what Porto
really
brings,
tough, mate. It's really tough.
Knocked on you because
we got caught against Milan. We all said this was going to happen, and that happened. It was just mad when no one saw Origi coming in.
Yeah.
I think it also for the defensive sort of how we line up is last time we played Porto, they had a big lad up front who was quick, tricky, skillful, and he was really good in the air. I don't know if he's still there anymore. Generally with Porto, they have good players that last 2-3 seasons and get shipped out for big money. So I don't know who plays up front for them now. I know they've got a decent midfield because there's like a guy we were linked with, is it Octavio, something like that in the summer. Obviously they've got Marco Grujic now, which would be good to see. But I think what they've got matters. If they haven't got a big lad or they haven't got anyone with real pace up front, I don't think it matters who we play at centre back, to be honest. We'll deal with it. But if they've got a real powerhouse like they have had before, we need to make sure we line up right.
I think we're capable. You theoretically, anyway, capable of handling whatever any team sort of throws us in attacking sense. But again, it just boils down to that thing of I have no idea. I've no idea. I think it's dead exciting because I also there's a few options there which I'm totally comfortable with. I rotate one or two of the centre halves and I'm kind of fine with it. Now maybe I'll feel slightly more unsettled having Gomez, Canate, because they're not as much of a known quantity to me, and that is a big gamble to change that. If you're then changing the left back as well, and then potentially changing the right back, and we've gone through a situation where I think Palace was disjointed because we changed the entire back four, and I wouldn't like to see us change the two full-backs in one game of football again. So maybe Tsimikas, yes, but probably not Trent. As a result, you asked Trent to go twice, and let's be honest, it's not like Gareth Southgate's going to use him, for England.
That's the other thing, isn't it? Having a bit of a break afterwards. I know it's international football.
I think Bobby. I think you've got to play Bobby again, because I think he needs to do 60 now to make sure he's ready for Manchester City. And I think if he's ready, I think we will start him against Man City as well, because I think Klopp will go with as many of his best lads. And right now, it's like the Robbo thing. I think he thinks Robbo is above Tsimikas in the pecking order, so getting Robbo as ready for that game as possible. So I think Tsimikas will come in. I have no idea what he's going to do with the centre halves at all. And Kurt coming off suggests that he'll probably go again for this, and that gives maybe Keita a little bit more time to get ready for the weekend.
Unless he does 30 if he's fit. Just like same again.
And again, you've got 5 subs there. So, Trent could get half an hour off. One of Salah and Mane could probably get half an hour off potentially with that if the game's going in the right in the right direction for you.
There's one player we haven't mentioned. Is Minamino after his performance against Norwich.
He probably deserves.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see after that something from him, to be honest.
But it's tough. To his point, when we've got Firmino, Jota, Salah and Mane fit, it's a real struggle for someone like Minamino to even get a look at anything other than a substitute. But I agree. He would be. I would maybe go that. I would say Bobby for 60. Bring Minamino on for him, and then with 10 to 15, bring Jota on for Mane or Salah or something, then everyone's had a bit of footy.
Even it up, keep them fresh.
Just be glad you're not doing the starting 11, mate. I tell you what.
Right, what score are you going to go with, Chris Pager?
4-0 Liverpool.
Wow.
2-1 the Reds.
Okay, I'll have a 2-0 to Liverpool. I've said this before. I've got a sneaky feeling, just because of how seasons go sometimes, that having drawn with Brentford, and we've kind of largely shrugged it off as being one of those games, it honestly wouldn't shock me, because of how having done these quite a lot the last few years and writing the books about them and stuff. We always have a game week where we draw in the Champions League and then maybe draw in the Premier League, and it feels catastrophic, and then the comments go absolutely horrendous, and then we just pick up and carry on and do really well. So not to shoot the messenger, but I wouldn't be surprised if we went a little weaker for this and maybe ended up with a draw against Porto. But if we do that, I'm even more confident than we go and do Man City at the weekend. But yeah, we'll have to see. What do we think about the City PSG game, by the way?
Paris, like Messi didn't play at the weekend. I don't know why. I think he's just on to do what I want here. Fancy a game off for playing this Farmers. So honestly, it's mad. I was looking on. Mbappe just seems to score every game. He's absolutely flying this season. They've won every game in the league. They're already like well clear. Like it's ridiculous. Obviously they drew against was in Bruges last week, which can happen. So I don't really know much about Paris. I actually don't think we'll know a lot about Paris until we get to the quarter semis again, and that'll be when people go, oh, we're here now again. Let's see what you've got. I think they'll get through, whether it's first or second in the group. We know what City are. It's just, it's very difficult. I just hope it's an absolute belter game where it's energy from end to end, and there's, you know, a few knocks here and there and stuff like that. I never want to wish injury anyone, but it'd be nice if they come out of it sort of bruised and battered, so that it helps us on Sunday. There's a big psychological war in Pep's head there, isn't there? Massively. Like, I mean, he's fighting himself. Is that bit in Spider-Man where Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin and he's having an argument with himself in the mirror? Yeah. That's like Pep, and he's got it's evil Pep arguing with normal Pep, screaming at what tactics he should do and how many DMs to play or not play and how many, you know, he was playing in the false nine and all that stuff. Do you think he's going to pep himself for this? I think, but yeah. Someone said to me about the other day about like the Man City result of the weekend and how do they lose their heads? I think their players get a little bit lost in big atmospheres, and we've experienced it. That Paris atmosphere is unbelievable. Is it full? I don't know. I think they're closer than a lot of other places, though, aren't they? I have no idea. Maybe people in the comments can let us know on that. But that'll be a big atmosphere. But also, it's not so much about the City play. It's Pep's. It's when Pep's head goes, City go, and it's whether how does he handle the pressure of this? Because he'll see this is his stage, won't he, to try and like put a marker down and you know. So yeah. And when he looks at the away end and it's just empty seats and there's three lads who are in uni in Paris there with the City flags, and he's like, "Where are you?" With the backs turned to it, doing the fucking Poznan like. Yeah. Did they still do that? I think he's auditioning for that job anyway. You know, I think that's his next stop. Ooh. It's not where many other places he can go, really, is there? To be perfect. You don't have the money in Italy. Yeah. Not anymore. No, he's done Germany. He could go back and be the saviour of Barcelona again if he wanted. Money again, yeah. Yeah, but I genuinely think that's probably the next stop for him. Yeah, we had a couple of super chats which we'll get through before we head out. Trig Josh. Unless he goes to the Spain manager and starts paying for people to play in the national team, like 50 million a right back and stuff. Yeah, it'd be a lot of people. I mean, they already have a lot of people jump nationalities to play for Spain. Don't feel like you're Laporte. Yeah. Josh says, will Kelleher be in net and save Alisson for City? I can't see him rotating. No chance. It's a shame, though, isn't it, for Kelleher? Because... No. For Kelleher, it is, yeah. In so much as you've got your backup goalie, it'd be cool for him, but it's the Champions League, and Alisson gets the big competitions, and at the moment Kelleher gets whatever's left of them. So yeah, away, I would be surprised. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, I'd be shocked to see that, to be honest. Mizgan's back again. Says, I think Matip starts with Gomez or Canate because this is Tuesday, Sunday game week. Hence, there is a good enough gap between games for centre back to recover. Yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean, this is the point. We've now seen our centre backs. The only thing we haven't seen is Gomez used as a right-sided centre-half. So my logic is if you rest in Van Dijk, Gomez starts, and if you want to rest Matip, then Canate will start. But past that, it's entirely possible. Good luck trying to pick for the opponents, trying to pick who's gonna start for us, I guess, really. But I have no idea. It's mad, very mad. Such an unusual situation to be in where you can't have I mean, to be fair, Chris, you got your start 11 spot on for the weekend, so yeah, see if you can do that again. No, don't think I'll be able to. Conor Bradley's in, mate. Yeah. You might do. Let us know your teams, who plays, who is rested and all that stuff, and how strong would you go for this game. Score predictions as well in the comment section. Don't forget to check out the Start 11 prediction show later on, and if you want to revisit the game from the weekend, it was just over an hour, actually. We really pulled it apart in as many ways as possible. So if you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps and you want to get some positivity out of that, then the final word is available to YouTube members and, of course, alongside all of our additional content on the redmentv.com. So go and check that out. Big shout out, of course, to all of our Club Legend subscribers over there who are all wonderful, who get all the extra bonus perks as well. But yes, gents, thank you. Pleasure. More to come from us later on this week. Chris and I will be doing a watch along on Tuesday night for the game. Hope to see you there, if not before. Ta-ra.
Thanks so much for checking out the show this week. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, then do. But if you want more from us, extra Redmen shows, then go to the redmentv.com. You can support the channel at 2 levels, by Club Captain or Club Legend tier. Both get you a full suite of Liverpool-related content, extra Redmen shows, documentaries, features, and world-exclusive interviews. And Club Legends get their names here and on the end of those videos, and free merchandise as well. Perfect time to sign